Hello, welcome to today's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Today we have up-and-coming actress Crystal Gorski. Crystal, tell us about yourself.
I'm an up-and-coming actress. No, I'm totally kidding. I have as much info as you do. I've been in the industry since 2021. I actually did a few movies when I was younger, and I kind of took a break and did the business, family, the job, all that stuff. And then I decided to go back to it. So just working a lot lately in the horror genre. I'm really loving being killed, and I would like to kill some people. So kind of focusing on that. But I just love to create and work with other creatives and collaborate on things. And it's a blast.
It's funny because I was looking at your IMDb page, and you had a busy 2022, and it looks like you have a busy 2023.
Yeah,
probably into 2024 with that list of movies.
Yes, I'm very blessed and very grateful. Absolutely.
So, how you I see you did a couple movies early on, and then you said you took time off for family and stuff like that. What made you get back to movies?
That's always the interesting story. I got breast cancer in 2019, and going through treatment. I'm not going to get too far into it, but going through treatment, you think about all the things you haven't done, and you kind of evaluate your life up until that point. And when you don't know if you're going to make it or not, you think about, well, if I did have a second chance, what would I do with it? And after I recovered, I decided that was it. I'm just going to close the business, stop doing what I was doing with that. And I'm going to do what I've always wanted to do, which is make films and shows and just work in the industry in general. I love being in front of the camera, but I also really like being behind the camera too. So anywhere that I can help on set, I'd like to be a team player, and I like to be creative and collaborate. But that's kind of, how I got into it. I recovered, was good enough to start doing normal people things again, I guess you could say. And I took an acting class, got some headshots, booked my first project all within 2 months. And then that's history. So.
Cool. Well, congratulations on beating cancer and coming out good on the other side. And
yeah, thank you.
That is awesome. So
it's a different life. It really is. It's I don't know, not like being reborn, but nothing is the same. Your body's not the same. Your mindset's not the same. You're really every single day I look at as such a precious thing now, where before it was oh yeah, this day sucks or whatever. No way. I woke up this morning. I don't care if I pulled my back out rolling out of bed. It's going to be a good day. You know what I'm saying? We're here, we're breathing, we're above ground, all that good stuff. And there's always opportunity in every single day. So.
Yeah. Because, like I said, I was looking at you. You are just got a mound of movies that you're currently working on.
Yeah.
And now you said you walked away from your normal job to embrace acting full time.
Yeah.
Can I ask what you did before you?
Yeah. I was in IT before. So actually had a business that we owned since 2014, and recycling companies have a bunch of assets, laptops, computers, buy those in bulk, refurbish them, resell them, custom build different desktop PCs, gaming PCs, things like that. So I did that for a while, and then I worked help desk and desktop support for a while as well. So it's so boring. I hate it. Yeah. I could take your computer apart and put it back together. I can see your gaming chair, so I know you have some games on the computer in front of you. I could probably take apart your computer and put it back together with one hand.
Ironically enough, this computer has, I think, one game on it. It's my kids.
Okay.
My gaming
Is it
chair.
Roblox?
Do what?
Is it
yeah,
Roblox?
probably. I believe it's Roblox. I'm a console guy. When I do get the chance to play video games, I always play on consoles. I
okay.
Never got into computers.
That's your jam. I love consoles too. I own all of them. So yeah, I could go back and play regular Nintendo. I even have Sega Master System, not to date myself or anything, but I mean, you go way back. Hey, did you ever play Alex the Kid High Tech World?
Yeah.
Literally the hardest game ever. And I'll tell you, so we didn't have the internet back in the day, right? We're not going to say when this was, but 10 years ago, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the Game Informer walkthrough that didn't exist yet at EB Games. Yep. So I'm playing Alex the Kid, and I could never find that last piece of the map. I could never get out of the house, ever. So fast forward to when the internet comes out, and I'm like, that's it. I'm going to beat this game. So I looked up the walkthrough. I find the last piece of the map. I was so excited. I'm like going to the arcade, because I'm like shaking everything. Going to the arcade. I was so excited. I walk out of the house and bam, a ninja kills me. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I still haven't beat that game till this day. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's what was the little comic? It says, "I told my kid if they beat this game, I would buy them a PS4," and it's the Turtles game, the original Turtles game for the
Yeah.
Nintendo.
It's horrible. They don't make them like they used to. They just don't.
No, and I literally that's one of my businesses. I have a comic book / video game store,
Okay.
and some of these games were meant to be super hard because parents complained that video games were too easy, and that their kids were buying these $60 games in the early '90s, beating them in
And in
one
one
day.
day.
Yeah, and mine is the one that I loved that is stupid hard was the Silver Surfer game for the original Nintendo. That
Yeah.
you can't touch the sides. You got to go right down the middle. Anytime you hit, you go all the way back to the beginning, and it sucks.
It's so touchy. Literally, just one little touch the wrong way and you're gone. Like you can't. It's horrible. Kids don't understand. Like they drive around in cars, like running people over and stuff. No, you had to get in the car and you had to stay in the lane, and that was it. You start at the beginning again. There was no save, nothing like that. Like,
Nope.
oh gosh.
There were no sandbox games. You couldn't just roam around and go wherever you wanted to go.
No, no. The
None of
closest
that.
thing was like Zelda. You kind of got to, go through the world. But yeah, no, you don't have what you have now.
Nope.
Absolutely.
Bad now. What's real funny is that people will come in. They're like, "I found it at Super Nintendo at my parents' house," and they'll come in and they'll buy a ton of games. And I'm like, okay. And then like a few weeks later, they come back in to sell it to me because they're like, I just remember this being more fun. I'm like, then you're not playing the right games. They're still fun.
They are fun. They just don't get it.
Nope.
Yeah, no, there's too many good games. I can't even. I mean, Super Ghouls and Ghosts was a lot of fun. That was one of my favorites. If we're talking super, yeah, like it's just way too many good games.
My favorite game is I finally got it. It's back there. I got the arcade one up on it. Was the old school Star Wars arcade game where the
I never
X-Wing
played that.
fighter. I got it. I love that thing. Every once in a while I'll go over there and I'll start playing it. Next thing you know, it's like 2 hours later.
Yeah, you have any idea how many hours we wasted? And I'm gonna go back. You said in the 90s they made games so like you could beat them in a day. You know why they did that, right? They did that because of places like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster. So you could go and rent a game,
Mhm.
and in 3 days you could beat it, and then you could bring it back and you could get another game. It was all like a money thing, right?
Oh yeah. As a former manager at a Hollywood Video, I know that.
Where we treat the customers like the stars.
You were
That
for
was my
Hollywood
first job.
I'm sorry.
That was my first job.
I managed one assistant manager for like 5 years, somewhere in that ballpark. And
Yeah.
some of the most fun I ever had and some of the worst times I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was fun. I was there when we converted from VHS to DVD, like so we had half and half on the wall.
Yep.
And then they didn't give me the promotion; they gave another girl the promotion, and I was like, "Well, I'll just go to Blockbuster then." And they paid me twice as much. I mean, I was making $5.25 over at Hollywood, and they paid me, I think it was $10 an hour over at, Blockbuster. I'm like, okay, so I stayed with them off and on until they closed.
Well, I worked at Hollywood Video until I realized that we were the lowest paid video store chain in the nation. And I'd stopped caring at a certain point. I was still showing up for work, working my shift, doing all that fun stuff, but I didn't care about anything. I let my employees get away with murder in that store.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think that's how it was in all of them, and video stores, I mean, they were doomed to begin with streaming, right? But like back then when Hollywood was like a thing, like it was still a thing. Like it was busy. You remember how busy it was in those places? Like that was the place to go.
I remember because it was Tuesday was new releases.
Yep.
Every Tuesday you're packed, and then every Friday and Saturday you're packed.
Yeah, and you're playing the new Star Wars movie up on the, whatever. Like you're just kind of rocking it out. You're popping popcorn for the kids, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Shrink wrapping all the stuff you're pulling. Yeah. The
shrink
shrink
wrap.
wrap machine with the gun.
Yeah, you heat it up, seal everything back up. Oh, well,
Oh gosh.
what's really bad was we were the store I had was the last 99-cent store in the nation.
Oh gosh.
And I remember the day I was like, we need to start putting up ads telling everybody that this ends at the end of the month. If not, we're gonna have irate people. And I
Yeah.
remember that first day because they didn't put nothing up. They wouldn't let me put nothing up. And this guy comes up and he hands me the stack of movies on a Tuesday, and I'm like, "That's I don't know what was it like $36." And he's like, "This should have been 10." I'm like, "Look at all the sign. It says we're now
Prices went up.
price."
Yeah.
And people throw stuff at you. I don't want this.
Oh, over the price rate. Like there were crazy people. I got hit a couple stalkers. Like they would follow me to other stores. Like if I wouldn't work one store, I was working the other. They would like go from store to store. So I'd have like one store call me and be like, "Oh yeah, so and so was just here." I'm like, "Oh shit, they're coming over here now." Like, part of my French. It was fun. I mean, people. It was what you did when you were bored on Friday, Saturday night.
You could just go hang out at the video store
Yeah.
and chit chat.
So we had. What was that? There was like hopscotch and all types of stuff on the carpet, like in the kids area. So you could just go play at the table and like draw crayons, like whatever, like whatever you want.
What was real good was I knew a guy, and this is going to be bad because this is horrible. He worked at the First Run Theater, so he would take his laptop in and jack it into the projector, and he would record First Run movies, and he'd have them for me that weekend.
Oh, wow.
So when the movie dropped on Friday, I had it on Saturday. And it was X-Men 2 had just came out. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, whatever, it's a slow day. I put the tape in. We're watching it at the store. And this guy walks in, he stares, and he looks down at me, and he looks up at the TV, and he stands there for about another 10 minutes. And he looks down at me and he goes, "Is that X-Men?" I went, "Nah, that's X-Men 2. He's that's out in theaters, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Can I rent that?" I'm like, "No, you can't rent that."
Wait, it's not available.
He's like, "How did you get that?" I'm like, "I have people."
I love it. That's so funny. The great thing is, I mean, back with VHS, we used to get like stuff that hadn't come out yet. It was like 4 weeks before it was going to come out. We could bring it home and stuff. Like,
Yep.
It was so cool. I don't know. I'm such a nerd. Whatever.
It's kind of nice being able to talk to people about Hollywood. Everybody remembers Blockbuster. No one remembers.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
No, that's where I learned my customer service. And I will never forget the motto where we treat the customers like the stars. It was on the door.
Yep.
Like it just with a big old star.
You had to wear the stupid tags. It wasn't Shiftly. It was wasn't managers. I can't remember what it was, but it was like Hollywood related and stuff like that. God awful.
Something like that. Yeah.
So
fun though.
Oh yeah, definitely fun. I met so many people there, and it was fun. I got to meet good people. I also got to meet a bunch of jerks, but that's the nature of the business.
That's just the nature of the world. I think right now there's a little bit of everything, but we surround ourselves with the positive people and keep those negative people there.
That's right. So. I've got one of the most positive people I've ever met. My wife. I don't know how she does it.
I love that.
I'm all grumpy and old, and she's just like, "Well, things will get better." I'm like, "Are you sure?" I don't.
They have to. Everything is temporary.
Oh yeah,
let emotions flow through.
Mm-hmm. She's one of the people. Well, it's going to get better. It's got to get better. I'm like, does it? Does it?
Does it really? And she'll say it when like the catastrophe is happening too. It's like full blown going, and you're like, it's never going to get better.
It's bad because we've been broke, and I've been super poor and everything else like that. And she's always.
I'm an actor. I understand.
And we pretty much lost everything at one point. We've been able to build everything back up, and now we live pretty well. And she's like, "See, I told you it would work out." I'm like, But it's like 10 years of suffering to get to the point where you're at now.
But she wasn't lying. She told
No,
you. You didn't.
nope, she got me where I
You
needed
knew
to
it.
be. So, yep.
Yeah.
But so
It's
I
so
got
funny.
to ask though here.
Okay.
Okay, with getting back into acting full time, did you have any like pushback from family and stuff like that? Like, "Ugh, are you? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks."
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So there's a lot of support, but there's definitely there's a lot of I guess not as much support, let's just say, because I don't want to say anything negative. So
oh, believe me, I hate to say this, but I love when I walked away from a full time job to run my business full time. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna lose everything. You're gonna lose everything," and I'm like, "It's the best paying job I've ever had in my entire life."
yeah.
And now I just love telling people, like my parents will be around. I'm like, I only made X amount of money this week. It just, and I just kind of gotta be turned into a jerk about it. But I don't know. It's kind of fine. It's fun to be able to push back on stuff after you've been buried underneath it for a while. You find like,
Yeah.
mm.
No,
So,
I completely agree. That's how I felt about the business. Like literally took a $1,200 tax return, and then the 1099 from February till December was 125,000 just in my eBay store. So like that's yeah, it was really good. So we just kind of kept going with it. So
yeah,
yeah.
and I gotta say, how hard is it to walk away from that kind of money to go into acting full time?
Well, interestingly enough, so I told you about the cancer. So I stopped
Mm-hmm.
doing the business while I was in treatment, and then I was still doing my radiation every day at the hospital when COVID happened.
Oh,
And yeah, so there were COVID patients in the hospital where I was getting radiation, and I had no immune system because I had had chemo for 5 months or whatever it was.
yeah.
So at that point, like the whole economy just went to crap, and nobody was recycling assets. So even after I recovered enough to start the business again or to like start going with it, it was really hard to find any assets to buy at a price that would give me a good ROI. So it was really kind of dead at that point, anyways. So just kind of a lot of reevaluating, like, do I want to, jump back into this and make a lot less money than before. And, I don't even know if it would have been enough money, because who knows? Just like everything changed so drastically with the pandemic. So yeah, and then people didn't have money. Everybody used all their stimulus stuff, and then everything went up in price, and now it's like, so everybody knows the economy is just in a weird spot. So, yeah, I mean, it was kind of then, well, what do I want to do? So I did get a job in IT working for another company, just doing like help desk, and that was from home, and it was good money. I mean, IT is always good money. I can't sit in a chair all day. Like I would quite rather like go pick up trash off the side of the road and turn it in for 10 cents a piece. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to sit still in a chair. It's not for me. So I did that just so I could buy the house that I have, quit that job, and went back to acting full time. So, I mean, yeah, now I have to go find a part-time job. So if anybody's hiring when they see this, I need a flexible part-time job.
And you're in Florida, correct?
I am, yeah.
So if anybody has any jobs in Florida, look up Crystal.
Or work at home stuff. I'm almost finished with a degree in marketing, and then I have my degree in IT. And then I actually almost finished an entire degree in meteorology as well. I just couldn't get the math down.
You're gonna be on the weather woman to be out there telling people about the precipitation.
I mean, I would totally do it. So, but you need a degree in broadcasting for that, and I don't have that. I thought about it. So, but every time since I was younger, my parents took me into like a Barnes and Noble or something like that when I was younger. And I was probably like 5, 4 or 5. I was really young. And I went into the store, and here's all these fun books and, Curious George and all that stuff. And I see this National Geographic book with a tornado on the cover. And that's the one that I gravitated to. And that's the one that I didn't put down the whole time. And that's the one that I brought home. And I've always just had this obsession with weather. And I don't want to be a weather girl. I don't want to say it's going to be cloudy today over in Bluff. I don't care about that. I want to be in the car chasing the storm. I want to put the probes in front of the storm. I want to be able to know why the storm is doing what it's doing. I want to be able to collect data to figure out if we can make, alarms faster. Like, can we warn people faster? Like, that's what I want to be doing, the research. So if you look at like Reed Timmer or rest of the soul, Tim Samaras, like people like that, they made such a big impact on the industry in general, and they've quite literally saved hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of lives. So I think that would have been like something really good to do with that degree. But I mean, analytical geometry with trigonometry with analytical geometry, I don't even know what it was. I was like, wait, hold on. First of all, we take numbers and we put letters with them. Okay, that's kind of confusing. Now let's take and put some symbols with those letters and those numbers, but it's going to equal just a number. And then we're going to take and let's graph this onto this thing, and let's not know how, because who knows how to do that. I'm like, I don't know, I look at it, I just can't figure it out. There's something about math that I can't do it. Can't do it. You put the alphabet in there, you put these weird symbols, and I'm just done. So, yeah. Anyways, don't post that. That was
I can edit that out.
Oh gosh.
Hey,
no, it was funny. You can post it. I'm kidding.
Yeah, but it's something you were passionate about. I mean, even being from a kid to get into weather like that. I mean, I was fascinated by the weather, but it's always like, oh, look at it outside.
Yeah.
Instead of the.
It's so cool. It's so unique. And now the ocean amazes me. Like, I didn't see the ocean until I think it was like 2018 was the first time I ever saw the ocean. I was always just stuck up in Illinois. So when we came down to Florida and I saw the ocean, I was just like amazed. I just sat and listened to it. And it's so powerful. I don't think we really know how powerful it really is. Like, I don't know, just amazing. Anyways.
Well, the ocean, we know more about Mars than we know about the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's incredible. I was able last year, I got to take my wife, we went to a horror movie convention in Virginia, and she was like, I'm going to the ocean. So she got in the car, drove the 30 minutes further past the convention to the ocean. And she's like, you've been here? And I was like, yeah, I've been there. She goes, well, I've never been here, so I need to go.
It's time. You got to see it. Yeah. I don't blame her.
Oh yeah, she walked out. She's got a bottle upstairs of the ocean. So
yeah. I love it. Oh, yeah, the ocean is beautiful. I think that's my happy place. So
it's beautiful and scary at the exact same time.
Yeah,
because it's you look down and it's like, how far is it? What's underneath me? You don't know.
Moana says, how far does it go? Like, we don't know. It's far. Sorry. So edit out the Disney reference. Okay.
So you're fascinated with those. Have you ever? Now you've got to get into one of them, the ocean-based horror movies where you fight like the sea monster or something.
That would be cool. If anyone's casting for one, let me know.
It was that whole brief period of time on Sci-Fi Channel with all the independent sea creature movies. It out there.
Yeah, everything was a NATO for a while, and then everything was sea creatures. So it's like there seems to be these, patterns. So we'll see. That would have to be like what PCP shark or something. You'd have to do like.
Was it because we got cocaine bear.
I know there's a bunch of them.
There's meth gator coming out. There's Crackoon coming out. Crackoon. I gave money to Crackoon because 3 people I know are in that movie. So.
Oh really? Okay, yeah. That's cool.
I believe Angel is going to be in that movie too. That you're going to be.
That's awesome.
Later. But yeah, I was just talking to another director, and he did a Shark Exorcist, and I was like, why wasn't it the Sharksorcist? Because I think that
Sharksorcist. Oh my god.
He said. Then he had to give me this whole analytics reason why. Well, on the DVD case, it has to look a certain way, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot into this that I didn't take into consideration. So
that's so funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with acting and now you're got, like I said, you've got a whole bunch of movies coming up. Um,
Yeah.
and you're portraying, you're returning characters in a couple of them. You're
You
doing the
noticed, okay?
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing the Halloween fan film, and then you're oh, I just lost it. My stupid phone. Uh, the Junior Squad returns.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
Mayor
So, and
Westerson.
then there's going to be Harlow's Haunt too as well. That one isn't doesn't have an IMDb yet.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
So,
So, yeah,
and
grief. People must like working with me again. You know, I must not be that.
we, I just met you, and you're so damn friendly. It's
Thanks.
and that plays a lot. If you got a good, friendly personality, you can act, you're pleasant on set and stuff like that. That really builds up, and people will tell you, that director go, hey, that girl's really good. She's not doesn't bring any drama to the set. You're just
Yes, please, no drama.
as I tell everybody, and I don't want to give because I'm guessing, given the fact that we talking about the Sega Master System and stuff like that, they'd be close to the same age, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, 27,
27.
28,
I'll be 30 in a couple of days now.
Yeah. We'll celebrate big 3-0.
Yeah. But getting somebody older on the set that isn't, that has a level of maturity that, doesn't bring, bad boyfriend, bad girlfriend, drama with them.
Yep.
Some people, oh, well, I'm leaving my kids back, home. So I got to shoot this and I got to be back, whatever. When you get older, that kind of goes away. Not necessarily so much with if you have kids, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. And I think just the set ethics alone, like I've seen, I've seen people of all ages actually just be horrible on set. Like they say quiet on set and you're still crinkling wrappers or talking. It's like that's the kind of stuff that I don't have patience for. Like you're wasting everybody's time. Time is precious on a set. It's precious because we have a shot list and we have to get through those shots, and the light is changing. We don't you can't go past a certain time. Then are the light guys sitting there trying to figure out how to make this look. It just, that's no patience for it. And I've seen all different ages, so really, I think just knowing, just bringing respect with you, that's the big thing. Like respect those around you. And do you know who Pollyanna McIntosh is?
Name sounds familiar, but
So have you seen The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
She's Jadis, the garbage people. She's also in Vikings Valhalla.
Okay.
Okay, you're like, I still don't look her up real quick on your phone. You need to know who she is before I continue.
Okay, hold on a second here.
The story.
Okay.
So no, she's amazing. Here, I can even look her up if you can't do it fast. Let's see. Well, either way, so while you're looking her up, I was on Instagram when I first started taking acting classes, and she's been in so many of the shows that I wanted to be in. Like, I really wanted to be in The Walking Dead. So when Walking Dead ended and I cried, I was like, okay, well, I'll be in Fear the Walking Dead. It's fine. And then they announced Fear the Walking Dead was ending. So I cried there too, but now they have like 6 or 7 spinoffs. So I'll be in something, The Walking Dead eventually. Anyway, so she had posted some behind the scenes stuff from Vikings Valhalla. And I went onto her Instagram post and I was like, your career is very inspiring to me. Like a lot of the shows that you work on, I love these characters that you're portraying. Would you give any advice to new actors trying to start out in the industry? Because she's not going to answer that. She's got thousands of people, putting comments on there. And she did. She answered. And she was like, you know what? Just be a good human being. Treat people with respect. Show up and do your job. She's like, but just be a good fucking human being is what she said. Pardon my French again. And she was pretty clear about it. I'm like, well, that makes sense. Like, you can't train a personality.
Oh, yeah.
You can train someone to act. Like usually actors, they know how to act at least a little bit before they have training, right? But you can't train someone not to be, disrespectful or so it's huge. But anyways, okay, that was my story.
Okay. Well, yep, I recognize her now. She was also in the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She was the Metatron.
Yes. Yeah, she's amazing, isn't she?
Yes, she's
been a little bit of everything. I met her too at the Walker Stalker Con back in 2016, 2017, I think, too. And she's just a cool woman. Yeah. She's really
Yeah.
down to earth.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. She was okay. Yeah, she was the woman in The Woman. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I definitely know who she is now. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I
super
had
cool.
I had to go back far enough. So yeah, your whole thing is you want to be on in a Walking Dead. My whole thing is that I would die to be in anything Star Wars. I would be.
Okay. Anything. I love it.
Yeah, it was funny because me and my son watch the new Star Wars TV shows every Wednesday, and I was like, "That'd be my luck." And he goes, "What?" I was like, "I finally get to be in a Star Wars movie, and I'm just random guy in the background of like a city thing, so I wouldn't even be like a cool costume. I'd have like a really ugly robe or something." So
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh. That's too funny.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah, I don't want to be background. I want to either kill someone or be killed in The Walking Dead. So, or turn me into a zombie. I don't care. Let me like mouth off to somebody and then get bit by a walker. Like, I don't care. It's just anything. But well, I'd rather be like a Madison Clark. Like, have you seen Fear the Walking Dead?
nope.
I love the Madison Clark character. She's just a strong female character. She's a mom. She's a wife. She's a badass. She doesn't take shit from anybody. Like, it just, that's the kind of character. And it's interesting because the movie that I'm doing with Aaron Hawkins and Akeem Bozeman, it's called Doomsday. And that movie is actually a very strong female character, ex-military. So I'm going to be able to really portray a very strong female character in there. And it is an apocalyptic movie. So I'm like, okay, it's really close to like that, but it's the kind of character that I've been wanting to play and wanting to build. So I'm really excited. I've been working on that character and kind of just, visualizing her and thinking like her to kind of see where I'm going to bring it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, do you find it hard to like if you're reading and you find a character that you really feel for that you can get into the role like that, and then there's just other people that it just really got to push to get into the role?
So you're saying like roles that I have a harder time getting into one role than another?
Or you go in with the passion to act in every role, but yet there's always that one role that you just like, okay, you're just
Not yet. No. So
yeah.
that actually hasn't happened yet. I think commercials are the for me. And Florida's a commercial market, and I've only booked one commercial, the Cricket Wireless commercial, and they actually flew me to LA. So it wasn't even a Florida commercial that I booked. But I have a really hard time with like commercial auditions. I probably need some workshops. I hope my agent doesn't watch this. I probably need some more workshops because I've auditioned for a ton of commercials. I just never get cast in them. So I don't know if I'm not smiley enough or really, I'm not sure because I look pretty smiley, right?
You have a good grin. You have, a good set of white teeth.
Yeah. I mean, I still have Invisalign. They're almost completely straight, but they weren't before. Excuse me, frog. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's why. Maybe it's because the chompers aren't perfect. I'm not sure. Either way, eventually, I like doing commercials. The commercial was a lot of fun. Agora Hills, California is amazing. It's beautiful. I was in the mountains shooting the commercial. I had my hair and makeup done by Tanya. And she's done hair and makeup for like red carpet events for like BET and a bunch of big stuff. She just did Daniel Gillies' makeup on set. You know who Daniel Gillies is from the Vampire Diaries? He plays Elijah.
Okay.
The originals. You're like, yeah, no, I don't, but we'll say okay. Yeah, okay. Well, either way, he's hot, but he's a good actor. He's a really good actor. So I mean, she does makeup for everybody. So I got to have my hair and makeup done, and I was in this beautiful thing. So yeah, I love commercials, and I just love being on set. But I tend to not book them very often. So, and with commercials, I feel like you're not really playing a role. They're looking for mom, or they're looking for cancer survivor, or they're looking for, T-Mobile customer or whatever. And you just have to be that. And I've already been in most of these things, right? So it's not like I'm even pretending, but maybe they're just looking for something different, eventually they'll hear me, I guess. But that's where I have the hardest time. As far as like theatrical roles, I feel I love all types of roles. I like roles that get me very emotional because I can go from 0 to 100 very quick. And what I'm working on with my coach is how to tone the 100 back down. So to go from 0 to 50 to 100 back to 70 and then down to 30. Because I can go from one to the other or the other to the other like really quick, right? So like in between. So I
You
really
find
like
a nice
motions
middle
like
ground.
that that really challenge me to like work on embracing, you know, the roller coaster of emotions. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, heck,
I
I
don't know if
mean,
that answered it.
yeah, you answered it.
Okay.
It's, I know it's funny because I've said this. I have friends that make a lot of local indie guys, and I always joke around with them. I was like, I'm getting too old to be in movies, and they're like, they're like, well, I can't be the hero of the movie. I can't be the. I told my one friend because he was casting for he was doing a Carrie fan film, and you would be able to be in the prom. And I was like, I would be in the prom. I was like, because I'm going to explain why that guy right there
Is at the prom.
is at the high school prom. And he goes, we would just make you the shop teacher or something to keep you.
You're a chaperone,
I'm a
security.
chaperone. Yeah. I was like, man, I was
Yes.
like, and at one point I was going to be a reoccurring character because I wanted to be the guy that told the kids that they were all going to die out there. And so I was going to be the guy at the gas station every time the kids come through the area.
That would be funny. Yeah, I love that. That would be so funny.
And he's like, why would you want to? I was like, because that would be hilarious. Because then you can link all your movies together by the one gas station and the one guy that works there. So,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
and then the time they decide to film, and they're like, "Can you be here?" And I was like, "No, I'll be out of state, man. I got a comic book convention to do or something I had to win." I
You
was like, "I
couldn't
got
do
to
it
deal with
anyways.
my real work and not the little side work I can do." So, uh,
Oh my gosh.
now with your current roles, are you staying in Florida? Cause you or you move? Are you going out of state to film?
Yeah, so my schedule right now, currently in June, I'm going to be going to Georgia to film The Woodman. And then let's see what's after that. So Unseen is going to film hopefully sometime between like September and December, and that'll be in Canada. So I'm so excited, like so excited to go up to Canada. And we just announced that Felissa Rose is going to be in the film as well. And I met Felissa a few weeks ago. We're going to get off topic again here. It's like Pretty Butterfly. I met Felissa like 3 or 4 weeks ago in the New Jersey con. And I had told her I have a vision board. It's actually on my wall up there, and I always add to it different names that I want to work with, different shows that I want to work on, different things that I want to do this year. And then I carry it over if I don't finish to next year and put it on a new board. And her name was on my board because I watched Sleepaway Camp when I was younger. Like, who doesn't know who Felissa is, right? And her energy is unmatched. Like, I don't know if you've ever met her in real, like, have you ever met her
I
before?
have not met her yet. I know personally people who've worked with her, and they're
Yeah.
like, "She's a blast. You need to work." I was
Yeah.
like, "I would love to work with her.
Yes.
My goal is to get her on the show eventually, or I don't know, appear in a movie down the road."
Yeah, no, she's really incredible. So her energy, like I have pretty good energy, and her energy is like, whoa, like just amplify, like all of the positive energy that you could find, amplify that, and she just radiates it. So to have her on set is going to be amazing. I can't wait. So I'm super excited.
That's cool. That is
Yeah.
cool. And
So
and
yeah,
it,
that'll be in Canada. So we're going to go to Canada for that. And then The Annihilator, which is a mini series that I'm going to be doing next year. That's going to be, I think that's in Tennessee. So I'll be in Tennessee for that one. And then I have a couple conventions that I'm going to be doing coming up. So Spooky Empire is in Orlando, so that's here. I'm going to go back to the New Jersey Con in August, and then Monster Mania again. I think in October. I think is Monster Mania, September, October. So I'll be at all of those, just kind of networking and stuff. And I recently met the Levy brothers, and they're just incredible. I have my Fuzz on the Lens wristband right in the bathroom. I keep it with like my stuff. But yeah, just super, super cool guys. They love what they do. They're so passionate for this industry, and just being around them just inspires me and motivates me even harder to continue working harder, because when you see what they did with, with Terrifier 2, and we were all watching, and I've talked about this on other podcasts, but every indie filmmaker, every indie horror filmmaker anyways, was watching this happen. Like, we were watching Terrifier 2 go from, well, it's an indie film that's a low budget. I guess it's kind of like a medium budget for an indie film.
yeah,
Go into a theater and then just blow up. And I mean, how insane and how inspiring is that to be like watching, you know, like it's incredible. But yeah, so all those guys are really cool. Phil Falcone is just a really cool dude too. So it's such a pleasure to meet all these people the past month. And my friend Doug is the one who's been, you know, taking me to these conventions and introducing me to everybody. And David Howard Thornton, let's not even, have you met him yet?
David Howard Thornton? No.
Yeah. Art the Clown? Oh, come on. So
I've been in the same room with him.
Yeah.
And I was talking to who was I talking to? Mark DeCasas from John Wick and stuff like that. I was talking to him, and those guys were right there. And when we were done there, I went to go over there, but they had left to go do a panel.
Yeah.
So, and then by the time, because they were at Horror Hound like the last 2 times I've been at Horror Hound. So
yeah.
They had like,
no, his energy is just crazy too. Like, here's the thing. They did such a great job casting that film. And this is, you know, and I mean, even Phil said, we only pick the right people, you know, and Jason as well. Like they only pick the right people for their crew and their cast. And it shows through because every single person that was cast in that movie was the person for that role, you know, no matter how long it took to find them. And I think that really, on top of, you know, Damien Leone doing such a great job and Phil Falcone with the special effects and stuff like that, like, you know, it was just amazing. It came together great. So if you put your heart, your soul, your blood, your sweat, your tears, your time, everything into a project, that's what happens. You get a project like that.
Well, I've said this once, I'll say it 1,000 times, is you can have all the money in the world and have a soulless project with no passion behind it. You can have, you know, 4 guys that raise $1,200 to make a movie, and they'll put their asses and soul and hearts into making that $1,200 movie.
Yep.
And, you know, it's all about passion, because I know people, you know, like I said, some of my really good friends are directors. Some of my really good friends are actors and actresses. And they put so much into this. And you know, you would think that, you know, you're like, you guys should be making millions, you know, but they're skimming by like everybody else is. And
it's really what you put into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, let me say, like Terry from Harlow's Haunt, he's the writer director of Harlow's Haunt. He literally puts his soul into that film and to marketing that film and to getting it everywhere that he can get it to be and getting us distribution for the film. Like, he is all day typing away, messaging away, connecting away, sharing, you know, and that's the thing. When you have a group of people that will do that with the project, it's priceless, because that's going to get it out there more than anything. So like you said, it doesn't matter if you have a $2 million budget or a $2,000 budget. If you want that project to work, it will work and it will get out there. You will get it out there.
Yeah. And it's nice because, you know, I know a lot of the independent filmmakers. Yes, there's some infighting here and there because you got the one guy who just doesn't get along with another. But as a whole, you get actors and actresses that work with groups and whatever, and you got the same moving about, and they're all working together to better their art, to better, you know, get this out there, to let people know and stuff like that. It's like, I mean, I write scripts when I have downtime, which is very little, but
I pretend to as well.
Yeah. I have notebooks upon notebooks of notes and scripts and stuff, partially done scripts and stuff. My problem is that when I get down to dialogue, when I talk, I can talk regularly, but when you gotta write it down, you're just like, okay.
Yeah.
Jim,
how are you today?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound right. How are you? Oh, no, that doesn't sound right either.
Exactly right, yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I wrote a scene with, I have all boys. I have 4 boys. And I wrote a scene about a father talking to a daughter. And I always go, when I get my kids, I always kind of give them a headlock. And I'm like, love you, kiss them on the head. And even my adult sons, I mean, I'll grab them in a headlock, kiss them, love you guys, go. And I was like, would a dad do that to his daughter? You know, like it's like to his
Yeah.
daughter, like I love you, go, and you know, and I'm like, should is that? And I'm like, so I had to ask like my friends with daughters. I'm like, do you? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, that fits.
Okay, that works. That's fine. Yeah.
And
Here's the
it's
difference. Writers like, so Aaron for Doomsday, he's like, you know what? I'm going to add a scene or whatever. And 4 minutes later, he's got 5 pages. I'm like, where do you come up with this stuff? How does it come out like dialogue? Everything's formatted properly. It's already saved and printed. Like, what's happening? Because I sit there with a treatment for 2 hours and I'm like, well, I have one more paragraph, like, I don't know what I'm doing.
it's some of these guys can just it flows. It just free flows. That's like I cannot work at a computer. I have to work on a notebook because man, if as soon as I start writing, sometimes it just keeps coming out. What's real bad is I wrote a script and it ended up becoming a whole like essentially a prose story. So like all that, I was like, I guess I can chop this up and make it a script kind of some.
I'll figure out how to do it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These days I'll get to it.
Here's the thing, I have the whole movie written in my head.
Oh, exactly.
The whole thing is here. I can see the kill scenes. I can see everything. But when it comes to actually putting it on paper, that's where I fail. I have no idea what I'm doing. So,
like I've got a script I've been working on for years. It's called "A Hard Woman Is Good to Find," and it's basically these two kids are on the run. They end up at this house, and it's this former military woman, and she's got a big scar. She doesn't talk through the entire thing, but she just that is Lucy.
Is that Lucy? That's cute.
That's Lucy. That's the wife's cat. My cat is
that's the wife's cat.
Hiding up there.
Okay.
That's Maze, and my little fat dog is down there. So we have 2 cats, 3 dogs, 2 of them are corgis, and one of them's a mutt. So
cute.
My little corgis and my wife's big mutt dog.
And the pretty kitty.
Oh yeah.
Is that a Scottish fold?
She is just a random.
Oh, she just has floppy ears. Never mind.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants to play. She's like, "Are we playing?"
No, she just wants to see what I'm doing. She comes over here to visit and has to hang out, but as soon as I go to pet her, it's like, no,
no touching.
Touch me.
No touching.
She'll come over and lay on my lap while I'm watching TV, and then I go to pet her, and then she just stares at me like, "What are you doing?"
It's too cute. So. She's too cute. I forgot what we were saying.
Okay. Back to making. Okay. Except for you got a silent character, and the other 2 people have all the dialogue, and I'm like, so I'm like working on that, and then I have the bad guys dialogue and stuff like that, and then I'm like, it sounds too like cartoony, I guess. I mean, and it's supposed to be a pretty brutal, violent movie because, like I said, it's and I got the story figured out. I got all the death scenes. I got everything figured out. Now I just got to put the dialogue.
You just got to get the dialogue. Yep. I know that's the hardest part. It really is.
So do you write movies too? Are you working?
Yeah, so I currently have one movie that I'm writing with a friend and actor friend of mine, my best friend Bryden, and we're working on something that's really special. So we just need to get the treatment finished. He was working on it this week. I didn't have a lot of time, so we're going to meet in the next couple of weeks and try and get the treatment done. And then Aaron agreed to help us kind of look over it. Terry said that he would help us look over it too because they're both script writers and we're not. So we'll see what's going on with that. And then I do have a pilot episode that I want to film of something as well that I'm working on too. So.
Yeah. So I've been told people really like doing this now with do you do anything putting together like any shorts or anything on like YouTube or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
No. So, I mean, maybe a year and a half ago, so I'm currently at the stage where shorts aren't going to do me much good. I'm doing the Halloween Death Walks Among Us 2 for a few different reasons. One, I love Rick Danford and his entire film family, and I want to work with them again. So I'm going to do that. 2, the first movie was amazing. how well done. Like Salo is amazing, Chuck is amazing on the camera. Like the whole cast and crew is just incredible. So I can't wait to work with them again. But I'm really trying to break into more horror features. And I would like to break into other genres as well, but I'm meeting a lot of people in the horror industry right now. So it's really kind of going. And then I didn't know, but when I got killed, and I'm not going to say what film it's in, but when I got killed and I had to scream, I can scream. So that's going to be a good thing, I think, for people that are looking for someone that can scream. So, yeah.
Well, and to have the range to be able to, you know, because I've looked at your IMDb, and you've done lots of different acting roles across the thing. You've got range,
Yeah.
and going into horror, that's going to be a bonus because you know, you can be the victim, you can be the killer, you can be the cop, you can be the mayor of the town, you can be, you know, all that fun stuff. And you know, and it doesn't look out of place because I guess sometimes they'll cast people too young to play like cops, and they'll too young to play like, you know, the mayor of the town or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, to get in somebody, you know, and like I said, I don't want to give nobody's age away, but you know, a level of maturity that looks authentic.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. You know,
Without
and a
saying-
lot of the horror movies, they want the younger 20s girls with the boobs and everything like that. You know, like I get it, it's like a thing, but how many times have we done that? You know, like it's always the same thing, young girls and whatever. So throw a old bag like me in there or whatever, you know, like no, I'm not that old. But you know what I'm saying? Like
oh yeah,
mix it up a little bit. Like I'm totally down to try something new. And you know, I think that it's good to have that age range, like you said. Like we can't put 22-year-old daughter with 26-year-old mom. It doesn't work, right? So you really have to kind of be conscious of the age that you're casting, I guess. So
well, yeah, and then you know, it's nice because you know, me and my wife were just driving the other day, and we had this discussion about like horror movies and stuff like that. Is at a certain point, you know, you have the 20 early 20-year-old girls and stuff like that, but as I'm rapidly approaching old age, I am not attracted to
the early 20s,
early 20 years old.
Yeah, now you're losing key audience because anybody that's, you know, 30, like you and me, you know, we're not looking for that. You know, we're looking for someone more of a mature age.
Yeah.
You know?
You're looking for, you know, it lack of a better term, it becomes the attractive mom and not you know, you're not like the hot daughter.
Aunt. We can be an aunt too, right?
The hot aunt or the hot mom. Yeah. And,
yeah.
and it's something that they're missing out on. And you're like, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I can see 25-year-olds all day long if I want, whoop-de-doo, but you're an attractive mom, aunt, or, you know, whatever, you're like, you see her, you're like, yeah, okay.
It's much different.
There you go.
So it's funny that we're talking about like age and stuff. So I recently, I bothered the crap out of Scott Goldberg. And you know, he did Forest Hills, right? The Forest Hills. You're familiar with that one?
The Forest Hills.
Yes. Okay, look that up. So he's got Shelley Duvall, Dee Wallace, Edward Furlong on the cast. Chico Mendes.
Yep, that's the one I thought it was. Yes.
He was filming some pickup scenes, and I've been following Scott since he like first announced the movie a long while back. And I pop in on his Instagram live sometimes, and he popped in on one of mine one time, and you know, he's just a really cool freaking guy, you know? So I'm like, I need to work with this guy sometime. That's what I kept thinking to myself. And Forest Hills was done. Like not in a million years did I ever think that I could get into the Forest Hills. So that being said, you know, just kind of following and supporting the project and sharing. And he needs to film some pickup scenes. And he started casting for it. And like he posted, I need a doctor and a doctor's wife or something like that. And I was like, well, me or something, right? So I messaged him. He's like, oh no, we lost location or something. And then he messaged me and asked me if I would be able to play a specific kind of role. I said, absolutely. Do you want me to send in a tape? Then later that day, no, we're not going to go with that. And then he posted another one. We're looking for a cop and cult members. So I'm like, okay, I'll be a cult member. Let me be a cult member. He's like, you're too young and you're too pretty. I'm like, wait, hold on. So I went and uglied myself up, right? And I sent him pictures. He's like, still too pretty. I was like, shit, like, I'm never going to get in this film. So the next day or two, he posts, he posts looking for a mom in her 50s and a daughter in her 20s. And I messaged him. I was like, all right, I'm going to try again. I'm like, how about a mom that can play in her 40s and a daughter that's a high teenager? And he was like, I don't know, send me pictures or whatever. So I sent him some pictures. So long story short, I know it was already a long story. He cast me as the mom, and my friend Gima, G. Marie Rios, she was in my first acting class in September 2021, and we've been like besties since. So he cast us both, and we went out there, literally left a couple hours later to drive to Georgia to film in the morning. We got there at like 3:00 in the morning. We had to be on set at 11, like stayed in this. If you ever seen Supernatural, like all the dumpy motels that you see in Supernatural, we literally stayed in one of those. Like we may have gotten a disease. I'm not sure. Like it was bad. I'm not going to say where it is because I'm not going to bad name it, but it was really bad. So we get on set and I'm just like, you know, a ray of bubbly sunshine. I'm so happy to finally be working with Scott and on this film too. Like, and everybody on set, and I'm getting really off topic, I don't care, but everybody on set was amazing. Scott Hansen, we filmed at his house, and he's got this beautiful, like these beautiful koi ponds in the backyard that he built himself. You can see it on his Facebook. And it's just such a serene, like backyard. I just want to meditate back there. And he's got all these bees and everything. And I love bees. We have to save the bees. The bees are so important. Anyway, so we filmed at his house, and I had the crew and the cast. I mean, just amazing, absolutely amazing. His direction is incredible. I saw a piece of the scene, and I think it came out so good. Like I'm just so excited to be a part of that project. But met really cool people, made some good connections, and actually have a couple of friends. You know, I met someone that lives in Florida, which I don't know a lot of people that live in Florida, believe it or not. A lot of people that I meet are like New York. There's a lot of North Carolina, South Carolina, some Atlanta. But Jacob Fuller I met, and he's just amazing. He was the first AC. So hopefully we can link up and work on some projects here in Florida. I think it would be really cool, just to, you know, kind of get things going. But yeah, like how freaking cool. Persistent though. I was persistent. Yeah, and I got it. But thank you, Scott, if he watches. Anyways, that's my story.
It's nice. It is really cool to be able to network and get out there and find people that are passionate, just as passionate as you are. And I mean, I can tell you are just, oh man, you're bubbly. You're super happy to be talking to even just me, you know. And it's just nice to be able to, you know, find people who love what they're doing, you know, continue to love what they're doing, finding better ways to improve what they're doing. And, you know, yes, you can tell that for you, it's not a job. It's that, what is it? You know, find your passion and make it your job. But I hate to say it, when you make it your job, it kind of loses some of its passion.
It's just going to stay my passion, and hopefully I can pay bills with it. That's the way I put it.
There you go.
I don't ever need yacht kind of money. If I ever had that much money, it's going towards like breast cancer research and saving animals and like, you know, a bunch of other stuff. Or I'm going to invest it in indie films. Like find people just starting out and invest in their films and like just keep creating with it. You know, like that's the plan. We got to keep creating.
Keep paying it forward. It's keep moving it forward.
Yeah.
You should get a hold of Sean Burkett and Ryan Stacy. They're local, and they're putting some movies together here in Ohio. So
okay,
yeah. But
I just got an agent in Ohio actually too.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, but no, send me the contact information when we're done here for them, and I'll reach out to them.
Yep, because I know they're casting 2 movies right now. So
okay. Yeah, I would totally go. Yeah, I'm open to traveling anywhere. You know, as long as it covers me getting there or whatever, or pays enough for me to be there and stuff like that. Like, let's work. So
yeah, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we have our convention now. June is our spring convention, and then we're hoping to do our November convention again, and hopefully that will go to
Which
2 days.
convention?
It's called Pickle Comic Con. It's my little hometown. I put this whole thing together. We're at a mall, so we have comic dealers. I have a couple direct. Like I had a director friend of mine come up, and he was talking about his movies. I had a special effects friend. One of our shows, he brought all this stuff up. Brought up his friend's severed head that he had.
That's cool.
Hopefully, I have a friend that's in Atlanta now. She'll be back. Plan is that she'll be back for June, and I'm gonna take my projector TV. We're gonna show one of her movies, and then people can talk to her about the movie once it's done. So,
oh, that's cool. I love it.
That's a plan. And
yeah.
You're more than welcome once we get this to come up and hang out and do all that fun stuff. And
That sounds good. I'm working on getting a convention manager because I would love to do conventions. You know John Dugan, right?
John
Original
Dugan.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yes,
Papa
yes.
Sawyer. Yeah.
Yep.
So he was my scene partner in Harlow's Haunt, and at New Jersey Con, I went and I hung out by his table for a bit, and we had little mini Harlow's Haunt posters, and I got to sign my first few autographs ever. So like that's definitely goals to create something where people actually want to come and meet you. Like how amazing is that? You know, like there's literally there's nothing better than to know that you have done something that has touched so many people in such a way that they're like, I need to have you sign this because it was so badass. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's bad because I did my first convention last September as a guest. I've been a comic book dealer. I've been the guy selling stuff, but I was actually invited as a guest.
Yeah.
Casting for my other shows. And I had nothing to take. I had no merchandise, no nothing. I got my table, and I ended up sitting with what I call the Hellraiser guys. But it was Gary Tunnicliffe, Mike Regan, Paul Taylor. Those were the guys that worked on Hellraiser. Daniel, I'm going to draw a blank on his last name. He was Grandpa Munster in Rob Zombie's Monsters.
Okay. I don't know his name either.
Butch Patrick was there. I got to talk with him. I got to talk with David Naughton from American Werewolf in London.
Okay.
I got to talk to Bonnie Morgan. She was Samara in Ring 2 and The Rings.
Okay.
She's the contortionist.
Yeah.
But I got
a cool talent, huh?
She's sitting there, she goes, and she puts her arm, she's like, and she pulls them back. I'm like, oh, how do you do?
I wish I could do that. I've cracked my back real quick. Like,
it's bad. I got to go to the gym to get my back to crack. I got to sit on the machine like, let's watch crack. And it's like my buddy goes, was that you? Yeah. Oh,
oh my gosh.
But I hung out with those people. But there's this one guy. He's sitting over at my booth. And I had my show running on the computer, on the screen, and he's staring at that, and he looks at me. Then he stares back at the TV, and he stares back at me. He goes, "You're Captain Cartoon." I went, "Yes, I am.
Yes, that's me."
I was like, "That's me." He goes, "I watch your show every Saturday." I'm like, "Thank you."
That's so cool.
Some random dude in Virginia knew who I was, so I was like, "Cool."
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and
yeah.
It's I actually got to the point where I now get legit physical fan mail. Like,
that's so cool.
People still send letters. I have them. I still got them. I have them. Ones.
And I love you're so excited. Like your whole face lit up. You're like, I'm kidding. Like, and that's how we should be. Like
exactly.
Yeah. Like how cool is that? You know? Yeah. Gosh.
I went from being a comic book store owner, dad of 4, husband, just chilling out, to hanging out, putting together stuff, and then I do the podcast and I do the other shows, and it just kept building and building and building. And then I had somebody contact me about legitimately being in a movie, and they're like, "Well, you have a built-in audience with your shows," and I'm like, "I guess that's a thing." Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah.
And if things go out right, I might be in another movie. I don't know.
That's awesome.
So, with all the upcoming movies you got, have you ran into where you're just too busy? Like you
No,
had to turn roles? Okay.
no. So,
No.
and this, here's the thing. So I have nothing to do this month coming up in May. I have nothing to film in May. So I want to film and I can't find any projects. So it's like, yeah, like how weird is that, right? And then June, I have two in June. I'm going to be filming the Halloween Death Walks Among Us 2, and then that'll be on the 3rd. And then I'm going to leave on the 5th or the 6th. I go to Georgia, and I'm only there for a week. And then I have the rest of the month, I have nothing. And all of my other projects, there's no film dates yet. So really, I'm very busy just auditioning, auditioning, networking, going to conventions and networking, and trying to get into some more movies, So
Man,
yeah.
I need somebody like you that be local, so I can be like, all right, you got nothing to do? You're going to be on the show this week. I would use somebody like that like constantly. And but yeah, I would totally. I'm horrible. I'd totally take advantage of like, well, we need you for commercials. We need you.
And if they're paid, I'll come up and do them. Like if you have like 3 projects at a time, like I could just come out for a couple days and just do the projects. So just let me know.
We could work out something, because then I could
Yeah.
bring up, because I'm hoping to shoot commercials for my shop this summer. I want to a little project I'm kind of working on. I'd like to get that started. And the nice part about that is it's more of an anthology, so I don't have to have everybody at once. I can have multiple people at, like, okay, we got you, we shoot all your stuff, boom, you can go off, and then I got to bring in another person to play the different character, and boom.
Yeah. No, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
So just, let me know. I'm always down to work. So
Cool.
Yeah, I would much rather be on set than sitting at home.
Hey, are you one of the people that just has to have something to do all the time?
Yeah, I'd like to be busy. So here's the thing. I realized how short life really is, right? And when we're laying around doing nothing's getting done, and there's so many things that I want to do. There's so many adventures that I want to go on. There's so many, people to still meet and places to see and productions to work on and people to help, and just there's too much to do. There's too much to do to be like stagnant,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
That's the way I look at it. I would rather, like even if it just paid for me to just go somewhere, I would rather do that and be working than sitting at home, So
Yeah. And it's always a learning experience. Every time you even if it's something small, you're still learning.
Yep. And here's the thing, like if I'm on set, if I'm done filming, where do you need me? Like put me anywhere, because I'm going to watch, I'm going to observe, I'm going to absorb, and I'm going to help as much as I can, so throw me somewhere, that's my motto. We're a team.
That's what I did. I've been in 2 movies, and one I was just an extra, but they're like, we're done with it. We're done with you. I'm like, okay, what do you need? Well, we're going to film this. You need me? I'll be there. I end up being a grip on another part of a movie, and going to helping with the camera crew. I end up being helping with cleaning up all the makeup and stuff in one, because I was because you talk about being a cult member. I was a cult member.
Yeah. How fun, right? Like, listen, I will totally obviously fake, slit bunny rabbits open and cover myself in blood. Like I'm not afraid to do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
He looks at me. So I was typecast as soccer mom, right? But I'm telling you, I could kill. I could do it. I know I could in films, right? Not in real life, but it's like you get typecast as a specific thing, and it's like, okay, well, that's why I get killed all the time. Like everybody kills me because I'm, mom or sister or whatever. But it's okay. It is what it is. I'll keep taking those roles too, and the other ones will come. So
eventually, you'll become the Jamie Lee Curtis Mother's Day.
Oh wow.
The crazy obsessive mom. That's does everything.
I would totally do that. Anything Jamie Lee Curtis. She's the original Scream Queen. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God. What was
Yeah.
it? What, like a year or so ago, Jennifer Lawrence goes, "Oh, well, there was no strong female leads, action
Yeah,
lead."
yeah, yeah. I
And
saw
I'm like,
that.
I
That
was
was
like,
like
Jamie Lee
called out.
Curtis and
I'm like,
Sigourney Weaver just standing off to the side, like, okay, you started that, okay, we're just gonna.
Sigourney Weaver is something different too. That's one people. There's not a lot of people on this earth that I would cry if I met, and she's one of them. She is definitely one of them. I own the original box copy of Alien and Aliens on VHS, like the original first release of both. I'm not saying they're in mint condition anymore, but I do own them. And I could recite word for word both movies. So yeah, definitely don't screw with Sigourney.
My wife hates it because we'll be sitting there watching Aliens, and I'll just keep just talking, and I'll keep line for line. She's just like, "You can shut up." So
Yeah, yeah. That's why I'll be like in the kitchen, like making coffee or whatever, and I'll just be like, "Yeah, get in there. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go." And it's just shut up. Okay, sorry. Like I know each one. I
well,
hope you're right. I really do.
it's we had the other discussion the other day that the true villain of Aliens is not the alien. It's not the Queen. It's Carter Burke. It's the stupid, sleazy corporate guy that is the true. If we've learned anything from the
It's
Alien
actually the Wayland Corporation
yeah,
in general.
Wayland
That's who the
Yutani.
bad guy is. Yes. But yeah, Burke is definitely. Are you kidding me? He was gonna freeze everybody and ship them back. Like what a his death was amazing though.
God, Paul Reiser? Who would ever guess that he would be such a swarthy villain in a movie?
Yeah,
And
you
he's
never would. And that's what you just don't understand. Like actors are so diverse. Like we can do so many different things that you don't think we can do. And
oh yeah.
he's just a perfect example of that,
Well, I have a friend. She's an actress. She's been everything from the um cute girl next door, the victim. She's been the hero. She's done Western. She's been the monster in a movie. So they did her in the full makeup, but she was the
Yeah.
monster. And I was like, that's awesome when you can go from point A to point B. And
Yes.
it's one of my favorite B actresses was is Tiffany Sheffis. You know who Tiffany is?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I met Tiffany forever ago. I used to talk to her all the time because we were almost always at the same conventions together. And she was one of the ones that could go from the cute girl next door, and then she's the monster in the next movie. And
That's so cool.
damn straight.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, put the latex on me. Let's go. Like I'd so be ready for that. It's so cool.
I dread latex. That stuff sucks. I didn't know.
I loved having special effects makeup put on me. Like, yeah. I think it's so cool.
I did a zombie shoot years ago for a magazine, and we go in there, and I'm cleaning the makeup off, and I'm pulling it off, and I grab it, and I go to pull it without putting the mineral oil or nothing like that. So I'm sitting there, my face is stretched way out, and I'm like, I need to rethink this. I need to rethink this.
No.
So then I go get the mineral oil, and I start peeling it all off.
Now it peels off, not your actual face, but
And then I made a mistake because I had the beard, but the beard was only maybe about this long at the time.
okay.
And so I had blood, and I had it down in my beard, and then I was like, oh, now I got to get that out. Oh, that's gonna suck so bad. So my beard was red for like a week. So now it'd be
Oh
real
my
red. It's
gosh.
mostly gray. Now it'd be bright red if I ever got blood.
Uh,
So before we go here, I got to ask you the questions. Where can people find you on?
yeah, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Crystal Gorski, pretty easy to find. And then my website is crystalgorski.com. So I guess I'm fairly out there. Actors Access is also Crystal Gorski. So
And is there any? Do you have any merch or anything available yet?
not yet, no.
Not yet.
So I had someone actually email me and ask me how to get an autographed picture. So I'm thinking about setting that up on my website. Yeah, and maybe like having some of my headshots available.
See,
So soon.
you need to have signed autographed headshots. That's what happens.
I do have some merch up on my Twitch store, but I haven't streamed in a while. I used to stream my games, and that's Radia, twitch.tv/Radia. So if anyone wants to go to my Twitch and follow me, they can.
Everybody keeps telling me to do Twitch. I'm like, I do all these other things. I don't want to
Yeah,
add
how
one.
can you do that too? So you have to take your Twitch and then you record your Twitch and then you clip your Twitch and put that on YouTube. So that way and then take your YouTube and clip that and put it on your Instagram and your TikTok and so it's all clip it and clip it and clip it and share.
Clip. Well, what's real bad is now everybody's like, well, you need to do this. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't want to do more Instagram. I don't want to do more TikTok. I don't want to. It's like, and now it was like, no, I got to go because I've got enough Patreons. I got to do something for my Patreons.
Yeah, now you need something fun.
So now I got to
get on it.
Something cool. I'm designing T-shirts right now. And
that's awesome.
I go, people want T-shirts with my face on it, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, hey,
that's so cool.
I want my face. Why the hell would I want a T-shirt?
Don't question it.
Yes, I'm going for it. That's just
Look,
it.
I'll put me just like this on a T-shirt.
If
it sounds, let me know. Take a screenshot. Let's try it.
Try T-shirts. I'm mocking up one now that my one T-shirt's going to look like an old like 80s concert T-shirt. So
that's fun. I like that.
Well, something different. So
yeah.
But this has been a blast. You are so much fun to talk to.
Oh, thank you.
I need like another I just need like 2 hours where we can just talk and be just so great.
Anytime. So as long as I'm not doing auditions or on set or whatever, we can chat. Yeah, let's hop on.
Yeah, just
so you can record if anything fun comes out of it, use it for your channel.
That's right. We can just edit, drop it in there. Best of show. There we go.
Yeah, look at this messed up stuff Crystal said this week.
See, there you go.
If you want to co-host or something for a day, or I'll pop on with you too. So
yeah, definitely. We got some stuff coming up. I got another interview Tuesday, and then I am don't have anything planned after Tuesday, which is weird.
Something will come up. You're gonna get something.
That's just it. Something always comes up.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you back on. Yeah, we can talk with somebody else. We can have you as a co-host. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that. Love that. So, yeah. I have I don't know if you ever do interviews with maybe some of the cast and crew from some movies coming up to promote them and stuff like that, but I can get with some of the productions that I'm working with and see how many people would want to come on, maybe 4 people or something.
Yeah, definitely.
And just talk about the film.
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm planning one with 3 other people. Because I got the special effects and then 2 actresses, but literally I don't know when they're going to have the downtime because they're
busy.
So
yep. We're for the Woodman. We're all kind of just in limbo until June 5th or 6th or whatever when we all go out to Georgia. So yeah, it'd be good to kind of promote it. So let me know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That way we can have it ready to go before you guys, and then have it drop that week or whatever.
Yeah, and we're gonna run an Indiegogo campaign. So if you could post the link on there, that would be super helpful.
Yep, I've done that with a lot of people. So given
awesome,
the Indiegogo. So, but
very cool.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go.